it.
Okay.
Maybe people will dip in and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to FBS Chat Christmas Special. And what this actually means is that we are going to be improvising. We're going to be asking each other a lot of questions. You guys are free to also ask us questions, and we're going to be exploring the highs and the lows of 2021. And when we're talking about lows, we're going to be talking about how we managed to overcome them and how we celebrated all the fantastic things that have happened to us this year. Joe, would you like to add anything onto that?
No, I think that about sums it up. I think there's been lots of highs in even through difficult times. But we can come to that, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to introduce Kidge Burns, Gil Green, and Ella Dion. Thank you very much for being able to join us this evening. Let's start with Kidge. Kidge, because I know Kidge likes to start it off. Kidge, name us just one sparkling moment of this year, the most sparkling moment that you really want to share with all of us.
Well, it is actually solution focused, because at the beginning of this year, I was talking to frontline staff, and I think talking to any frontline staff and how they've been coping with all of this gives sparkling moments, because it's all about resilience and creativity and just people kind of getting. So that for me is always. It's tough to hear the stories, but at the same time, I think the sparkling bit is that we do get through, and we're kind of, they're great. So yeah, it was a privilege to be part of that.
So what was your role in that?
Oh, it was just lots of people who signed in just to give support and chat, and they could talk as much or as little as they wanted, and was hopefully getting them through tough times. So there was a whole group of us. I mean, it's still going on. I kind of came out of that, and I might go back in again if it's going to go on, but it was it was great to be part of it.
Oh, I love it. And keeping to ladies first, Ella.
Thank you. Sparkling moment of this year. Well, I loved the fact very much that there was this lady who attended the Tackle Your Challenge workshop session, and she doesn't know anything about solution focused. And she started complete open-minded. So, well, come on, let's do this. And she ended up with such a huge amount of insights. And she said it was life-changing for her. And she stopped seeing her therapist. So not that's nice for her therapist, but this was very, very nice. And it's a huge enthusiastic person. So it's very nice to have still some connection with each other.
Oh, I like that. Gil.
Gil's he.
A sparkling moment. Does it have to be personal, or can it involve politics?
It's your sparkling moment. It can be anything you want it to be.
I'm going to stay away from politics. Well, sparkling moment. I mean, sparkling moment technically is, what's unexpected, or sort of a surprise. So as you asked that question, and Ella and Kidge were answering, I thought, what would that be for me? Something unexpected surprise. Somebody about a week or two ago, about 2 weeks ago, I got an email from a former student who graduated 10 years ago with her master's in social work. Took a class or two from me, and but it's not someone I'd stayed in touch with. So I get this email from her, and she said, identified, a former student, blah blah blah. She said, I'm going through sort of a period of my career, sort of stuck and need to make some decisions, and you're the one professor that really stuck with me or stayed with me, and can I talk with you? Can I have a conversation? Use you as a sounding board. So a few days later, we had a Zoom chat about that, and so she got what she wanted out of that Zoom chat, but I was just felt really, it was a sparkling moment, the student I hadn't seen in 10 years, all of a sudden I get an email and she says, you're one of the few that really left a positive impression on me, and can I talk to you about career matters? And I felt very good about that.
Yeah, that's great.
It really resonates, because often when I used to work with young people in the school setting and would meet them years later, they would always say, I was so grateful that you were there, but at the time it didn't feel that what I was doing was being useful. And it's amazing how years later, when they look back and you think, maybe there was something there, but at the time I thought, you're not listening to a word I say, are you? What's going on? So that's
what you're saying, Joe, captures that pretty well. Yeah.
Oh, good.
And what about you two?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, Joe, what's your sparkling moment?
Oh, I think one of the highlights was the Christmas single, because it was just something that it's an original song, and it was just such a lovely collaboration, and having the children there who were brilliant. When I see that bit of the video where they really start going at it, it's like, oh, that was really joyful to watch. And yesterday, another one, I guess, connected to music. The young lady that was playing the cello, I'd never met before.
Yeah.
And she just played this thing straight from her head. It wasn't written down. There wasn't any notes to it. In front of 3 strangers and our little dog, Sapphire. And she changed into something that was so joyful for her, and for us to share that moment with her. Was such a wonderful thing to watch, and I just looked at her in amazement. I thought, "Wow, you've got all this talent. So let's celebrate that." That was really, really nice, and meeting so many different people through these chats that you know, when they say don't meet your heroes because you might be disappointed. I don't think I've ever been disappointed in anyone. It's been amazing. That part of it has been amazing. So yeah, there's been challenges, but I think we've found ways around it, found ways to still communicate, even though it was pretty tough for most people. So yeah, yesterday was quite a special day, and you get those days, don't you, guys? You know what I mean? When you just a day where you think, this is why I do it. And then you get 2 days where you think, why am I doing this? And every now and again you get one of those days, and that's the treasures that we hold on to.
Yeah, and what that young lady was saying to Matt yesterday was that she hopes that they can work together to write a series of music, which can then be seen as something like a story. So each chapter of a story, but it's in musical form, to express emotion and everything else. She finds it quite difficult to express herself. So it comes out outwardly as behavioral challenges. But when she's playing that music and she's expressing herself through music, it's just a whole different person. And that is just beautiful to see that, children are not born to be abusive. Children are not born to hate themselves or to feel a certain way. We all have ups and downs, which is pretty normal. But the only way that she can be true to herself and express the way she's feeling is through improvisation with music. And depending on how she's feeling is how she plays.
And isn't that the lovely thing of the solution focus phrase I love, when it's who you invite into the room. You are inviting that girl into the room who has talent and creativity, and that's what happens. It's just so brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just giving them that space, isn't it? And just allowing them to express themselves without having to use words. Or drawings, or it's just whatever fits with the client, which is where I think it's really important that any practitioner, any therapist, any coach, if we are truly client-centered, truly client-centered, then there should be no box to remove. It should just be the client and whatever that client will respond to. And that's the beauty of it. I think my sparkling moment, I was gonna say what Joe says. I'm trying to think of another one, but I remember, like yesterday, it was just close to summer, and I think I just come off a meeting regarding SF24, and this is going to sound really silly, guys, but it actually made me just really appreciate what we have. And I looked around, and Matt was having a go at Jason. Joe was telling Matt off for having a go at Jason. Jason was then saying, Mum, they're having a go at me, as in me. And I just said, don't get me involved. And then as I stood up to kind of walk to the kitchen and kind of turn, as you do with your own family, I turned around and I thought, God, look at this. Isn't this absolutely lovely? And all I could hear was just abuse from each other, I won't repeat what was said, and I do remember what was said, but they were just and I just thought, oh, aren't we lucky? And it is capturing those moments that I think, and there are lots and lots of those moments, I'm sure with all of us, but it's kind of capturing those moments where I think, yeah, this is what the team's all about.
Yeah,
it's that connection, not the abuse, guys. It's the connection between everybody and being able to just be yourself and being able to express yourself, and it's not all just about work.
Yeah. But wasn't SF21 amazing, though? In fact, if you think about how now we're used to connecting around the world, it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ella, how was your what's your feedback from SF21?
I think I didn't see a lot because the 6th of August was again involved. I think it's my birthday, so I'm happy next year. It's after that, and I just this afternoon went to see John Booker to edit videos.
Yeah, I did that too. That was amazing.
I have taken it home, so I will do it Sunday. It was a bit too hectic this day. So when I saw all the titles, I couldn't remember seeing one of them. So I think I've missed a lot. I was there for preparing some things with you and Elaine, and it's now blank.
I'm just gonna say, guys, I'm quite proud of myself and all those.
I'm going to edit first.
Yeah, we stayed up for 24 hours, and I remember being in a workshop. I think it was on the 22nd hour, and I thought, I'm just going to close my eyes for 2 seconds, and I must have missed about a minute. And I found it on a video today when in the John Brooker thing, and I thought, oh my God, you can actually see. Luckily, I didn't do this, but I was just kind of. And then you can see me just kind of jump up. So I stayed awake, well, all but bar 1 minute.
Mhm.
And they captured that.
Yeah.
Can you cut that bit out?
I edited it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Kidge. I think it was in the 32nd minute, if I'm not mistaken. I did actually cut that out. But it was such a brilliant event, and it will continue to be such a brilliant event.
Mhm.
It's unheard of to do anything like that, and for so many people around the world to join, so many people giving up their time to deliver workshops, to even just support each other, it's out of this world. I mean, what is it that we appreciate the most about the SF community? Oh, there's a question.
Mhm.
For me, it's the generosity of sharing. Very generous, very friendly.
Mhm.
No, but the people aren't stuck up.
Mm.
They're just nice people.
Yeah.
I think it's necessarily always the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, on that note, just before we go to Gil, Joe, and Ella, a couple of Saturdays ago, we went to, and I hope Rob doesn't mind me telling everyone this, we went to Guy Shannon's birthday party, who's now 60, people. He's
Hey.
60. He's 60. And Guy, if you didn't hear Ella and Kidge and Gil and Joe say it, they muttered under their breath, he only looks 40. You just didn't hear it. And lovely Rob Black was there, who we saw in person. I mean, we saw him in person a few years ago at Bath.
And
at a
dancing in
conference.
Amsterdam.
Mm.
But he didn't know us. We didn't really know him. We just had a great time. We learned quite a lot. So this year, it was the first time we actually saw, he has legs, we have legs, and that was brilliant to see. But it was surreal.
Mm.
As soon as Rob walked in, it was like seeing a celebrity. It was like, oh my God, it's Rob. I'm going to Joe. It's Rob Black. It's Rob Black. It's Rob Black. Look, it's Rob Black. Anyone would think I'm saying it's Keanu Reeves. Rob Black, Rob Black. And then Rob looked at us and went, oh my God, it's you two. And it was, we didn't know who was more starstruck. I'm telling you, it was so funny because most of the evening, I'd say 80% of the evening was like, I can't believe you're here. I can't believe you're here. It was absolutely surreal, wasn't it, Joe?
Yeah, and I think, like Kid was saying, it's the warmth, the openness, the willing to just share expertise without sort of like any pretension. It's been those those conversations that we've had, and because Aisha was kind of, because I mean, Rob came in, hugged, we hugged for quite a long time. Sometimes when you think, and it was just so nice to have that not just physical presence because you've only seen someone on the screen, but just to have that hug, and how nice that was. And thinking back on all the conversations we've had, and Rob kept saying, "Oh, all these conversations," and me and Aisha always felt, well, it's just we just ask people and they say yes. It's such a wonderful thing. But thinking back on it, yeah, I think that's been again another highlight, another joy, pleasure. Speak to so many different people, but it was a very good do. There was a live band. It was actually nice to go out and see people face to face, which I think before I guess we would have taken for granted, but now it seems kind of special almost.
And what was beautiful about the live band, they actually recognized Joe and I as celebrities.
Oh, shut up.
And invited me to play on the drums and Joe on the keyboard. And I said, no, I can't do that. I can't do this to Guy.
We
Because
don't
then it
want to
becomes
show
about
you up.
us. It becomes about us. And it's all about Guy this evening, you see. So watch this space, people. We might be going live at that pub one
All
day.
right.
Yeah, so any appreciation, I mean, what are we appreciating this year about SF? Or any FBS chats that stand out and you think, oh, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So many good
Yeah.
SBS chats, FBS chats. Hard to pick one. Now, I think the having these chats and having them available on YouTube as well. I mean, it's just along with the SF21. I mean, this all started because of the COVID pandemic, right?
Mm.
And so the chats and SF21 media, I mean, it's built and strengthened the solution focused community worldwide in a way that probably never would have happened. And I really love the way the worldwide SF community has gotten connected now. I think it'll always be that way. It'll just get stronger.
Yeah, it's really worldwide now.
Yeah,
because of this online, like Marcos from
Bolivia.
Oh, yeah, Bolivia.
So it's amazing. He now joins us regularly, I think. And, yeah, you really feel everyone's presence always. I think I love that of our solution folks community. We all, when we are here, we really hear.
Yeah. And it has caused me to discover using Zoom. I mean, I didn't know it existed until all I do is like Skype, and Zoom is so much better than Skype. I think.
Well, I mean, Kedge, how are you feeling about Zoom now?
Well, thank you for asking. The last time I was ashamed. I kind of was zooming in and out. For those of you that didn't have the privilege of seeing me kind of doing this disappearing act, and thanks to that, I had the kind of internet in the house reworked, because I said to my husband, I said, right, I can never do that again. It was so traumatic. And now it's okay, because I think it's great until it isn't. When you, especially in this kind of situation, and I felt I'd let you down. So I'm very happy to be kind of still in the picture after, 25 minutes. But I mean, yeah. And I think I was just going to add that this thing of the Zoom, the visual thing, I was just thinking, going back to the SF21, I loved, I mean, they're all brilliant, but Adam's thing came to mind with research. You know how research is, I mean, which is so important for the community to get the research out there. And you might not read it and it might look a bit dull or whatever, but on Zoom and with sort of Adam, and there were other people as well with the visuals. I mean, there was the one about the brain, which was just kind of out of this world, and you think, oh my God, this is so exciting. If I'd seen it in a paper, I mean, I think I still would have thought it, because I'm interested in that. But the visual thing is such magic and such a privilege to have it, So yeah, Zoom, thank you, is I don't dislike it quite so much.
Yeah, because I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, we were having a conversation, weren't we?
Yeah.
With solution focused trainers at that time. It was like, no, we're not, no. But that's the thing, and we were actually really uncomfortable with it as well, Kedge, because we're like, how would this work?
Yeah,
I'd never even heard of Zoom until the pandemic.
Yeah.
Never would I've ever thought. So yeah, you weren't the only one. Definitely weren't the only one.
Thank you, Aisha. You're very gracious.
No, I'm just being very, very honest.
Well, now I'm thinking of it. The chat with Eve was, of course, so beautiful, so great.
Yeah. I love that one. Because it's just because you see someone's name in print and you know that they're there at the beginning and they're part of this think tank. But then talking to someone like Eve in person, and it was that was great. I mean,
that was one of my sparkling moments as well.
Yeah.
chat with Eve.
And I think one of the things I took away from that is where Eve said she felt that change happened within the conversation and not the tasks given at the end of the conversation.
Mm.
And it almost turned the whole thing around about the conversations that we have are the intervention almost. And that was, I don't know if it was, a revolution back then, but it was a lot of it. They were still giving tasks at the end, weren't they? And but yeah, and the way she, if you're teaching someone this approach, what would you say? Clarify. Always make sure you've understood what the client said. And it sounds such like a simple thing, but it's so important. So there's lots of things that I've taken away from these chats. And it's been such a learning curve, and hopefully continue those into the new year.
What did you have like a sparkling moment of feedback from parents? Did you hear something beautiful from parents watching? Because you told us that your clients are also with kids sometimes.
Yeah. Aisha got a private Facebook message, didn't you, from that mum who we'd never met, by the way. So it was just someone watching a chat. Aisha can kind of sum it up.
Yeah, we've received quite a few. Thank you. That was really interesting. Thank you. That made a difference to me. Thank you. There's a lot of thank yous, and they kind of go into some detail about what they found useful. But this one mum really, really did stand out, and who we still don't know where she lives, nothing. But her daughter hadn't left her bedroom in quite a while, severely anxious, didn't want to access any sort of therapy, wasn't speaking to anybody. She was just living in her bedroom, hardly eating. And then her mum started watching FBS chats on her iPad. And then, just randomly kind of came across them on Facebook. And then she thought, wow, these are useful. So she's, turned up the volume, took her headset out so her daughter could hear the conversations. And then she slowly started coming out of her bedroom and sitting next to her mum to watch the chats. And I mean, I didn't know this at the time, but a few of the questions that this mum asked, was actually the daughter asking.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, the mum messaged me. She made a donation to our charity. She sent us an email to say, thank you so much for saving my daughter. She's now gone back to college. She's been practicing everything that she's been listening to, taking in whatever she needed to take in. She's communicating more. She enrolled in a college. She started a week later. So she said, thank you for saving my daughter, which, obviously we didn't. We all did collectively kind of support without even realizing we were doing it. So that's one that really, really stands out. So that is the power of conversations, not just necessarily with FBS chats, even with clients. Even just because someone is not talking doesn't mean they're not listening. And that's a really, really good reminder for everybody. Having short and useful conversations sometimes is a lot more powerful than expecting change, behavioral changes within an hours-long conversation.
It's having a different kind of conversations than what people are used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think John Hendon's conversation where he was talking about trauma and suicide, and I think that was one of the turning points for her. When he was having that conversation, apparently it resonated with them. So yeah, I mean, it was absolutely brilliant. And everybody who has kind of supported FBS chats and have been part of FBS chats should really be giving themselves a pat on the back, because everybody has contributed. And we don't know to what extent, because there's so many people that do watch it, maybe not live, but later on. And it's on all social media platforms, so people go back and watch. And I mean, on average, there's between 1,400 to 1,600 people watching in a week.
Wow.
So even if we change one person's perspective,
Oh yeah. Well, and follow the old adage, small change can lead to larger change, a ripple effect.
Absolutely, yeah. I have an interesting question for you guys, but I just want to show something off actually before I do that. I just want to show off, because when I saw this, I nearly died. I just thought, oh my God, look at this. This is amazing. Can you guys see the screen? So we've got cake. This is about the song that we released, yeah? Look, Eve Lipchick, guys.
Oh,
Eve Lipchick. Eve Lipchick. Hold on. Love. Eve Lipchick. Can you guys see this? Isn't she? I mean, that is a highlight, isn't it? Eve
So
Lipchick commenting.
That's sort of like a double sparkly moment.
Yeah, definitely. Right, an interesting question that I'm going to ask you guys. Oh, you can think about it, all right? So if you were immortal for one day, what would you do that you may not dare to do it on the other days where you're not immortal?
Well, if it's for one day, then you're not immortal.
No, it really.
I know.
You know,
but nothing you do. It's for one day. Nothing you do will end with.
You can do whatever you want.
Tragic consequences.
Whatever you want, you can do it.
Yeah. Because being immortal is not, being immortal for life. However, just think of it for one day.
I'd skydive. I wouldn't be chicken to do skydiving. Even if my parachute didn't open, it wouldn't matter. As long as it was in that 24-hour period, obviously, because then I'd be dead.
Yeah, but are you scared of the parachute not opening, or are you scared of heights?
Both. One's no worse than the other. It's the height thing. It looks exhilarating. It really does. But wow, yeah, it would be looking out of that plane, and as you're edged off the edge.
But you're not afraid to fly. I know.
No, I'll fly. Yeah, I'll fly, Gil. But if someone opens the door and expects me to jump out, mate, that's something completely different, isn't it? What else would I do? I don't know. What else would I do if there was
Ella,
no
what would you do?
consequence to your physical health?
I would go singing from my complete heart out on the stage with a lot of people, and then after that day, no one knows.
I was actually going to say something very similar. So maybe you and I should attempt to do that. It's a shame the SF World Conference has been cancelled, because otherwise we could have stood on stage and started singing our heart.
Yeah,
with no fear of anything that they throw at us will hurt us. Yeah, definitely. I am a bit of a drama queen, as Gil knows. So I wouldn't mind.
I think Joe knows better than I do.
Yeah, Joe definitely knows. What about you, Kij, if you can do anything?
Well, I used to be able to play the piano, and then I haven't. So I'm funny enough, music related actually. I would be, it wouldn't have to be a stage. It could just be, I would sit down and play really beautifully. And I'd be just so happy that I had remembered the kind of how to do it.
So what's stopping you from playing the piano now?
All the hard work to get to that moment. So this immortal day leapfrogs.
Yeah.
This is the miracle tomorrow.
Yeah.
None of that bit in between. I'm just there.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Are we in the audience?
You can be, yeah, but you could be up with singing as well if you like. We could do. we could. I mean, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's something that I'd like to see. Definitely. Ella and I in the background with our pom-poms and singing. What about you, Gil? What would you do?
Well, one would be, I've never played a musical instrument and always wanted to, never took the time. And but now that I'm semi-retired, I have more time. I may start doing that. I've always been amazed by actors,
Mm-mm.
and just great acting. And I've always would like to be able to memorize lines and own them, and so it just comes naturally. So it's in the arts. Both are, overlapping in the arts. Yeah.
Okay, so after this fantastic day, Joe's jumped out of a plane. Ella, Kidge, and I have been signed by Sony Music Production.
After performing live in Wembley Stadium and
Yay.
full of people.
You know what? I've just been reminded, and it just literally, it just so happened it's by my thing, something that Steve DeShacer said. Okay, I'm sure you know it from, it must be More Than Miracles. And he said that when we're with clients, but I'm thinking about ourselves, we create masterpieces from the everyday melodies of their lives. So then we're thinking about creating more melodies in our own lives.
Yeah. I mean, people might want my melody to be silenced, but we can still create it. But yeah, absolutely. And actually, following on from that, Kidge, if you could invite anybody, deceased or alive, just one person to dinner in the SF community, who would that be? Oh,
by the bell, we've got somebody.
No, we want to know the answer. Raya, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I'm not showing myself.
What, deliberately or not deliberately?
Yeah, because I'm not very well.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Get to feeling better.
oh right.
Oh, no.
Wear one of your scarves and make yourself all snuggly. Can you hear us?
Is that awful?
Oh,
I can only just hear you.
well, do you want to go out and come back in? It might have better sound for you.
Okay.
Maybe.
Audio.
Hold on. I'm going to kick you out and then come back in. Kidge, who are you inviting? Dead or alive?
I'd Insu. I'd like to have kind of. I did meet her, but I'd like to have a chat with her and listen to what she makes of it all now. Steve probably wouldn't say anything, so I think that
would. And what do you suppose Insu might say to the answer of that question to her, which might be what she thinks of it all now?
Oh, I think she'd be delighted, absolutely delighted, because she wanted it to go out into kind of, everywhere. And I think that's what's happening. I think she'd be so excited and all that passion she had and would be she'd be saying wow every 5 minutes.
Oh, I like that. What about you, Bill?
Well, probably it would be people who contributed to the development of solution-focused therapy. Their writings and thinking are underpinnings of that, and that would be Milt Erickson and Gregory Bateson.
Mm-hmm. And what would you ask them? What are you hoping the conversation would look like?
I would just like to have an interesting conversation with them. Could be something about what are your thoughts about the affairs of the world right now, or if you were to give advice to Aisha and Joe about what FBS should do, what would it be? I just like to hear them talk.
Mhm.
I did encounter Gregory Bateson at a conference once in Atlanta, Georgia, 1976. He was the keynote speaker, and then he stuck around to attend some of the sessions, and so I was in one session with him. He also stood around in the lobby and just talked to people, whoever came up to him, and I just kind of stood on the edge. I was kind of too shy to come up to him directly, but I just overheard conversations he had with other people a little bit, you know.
Oh, I like it. And Ella?
Well, of course, you guys. But
Joe, we can hear your tapping.
Oh,
Yes. But
yes, so many people. But I think I would love to see Teresa Steiner again and talk to her what she perhaps thinks for me would be nice to move on and do kind of things this way or that way or whatever ideas she has, because she is. I don't know. I've only seen her in Amsterdam twice. And she's very. You don't hear or see anything on social media or whatever about her, of her. But I know she was 3-4 years ago very busy with the solution focus in with children with trauma in Africa, I think. So she was very busy and perhaps still is. So I would like to catch up.
oh, I like that. Mr. Little
yes. Oh, yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Anyone in history. So I think
anyone, dead or alive.
Yeah. Oh, good. Right. Okay. If we're looking at solution focused, I would have liked to have been around the kitchen table when the family that Eve says changed the direction of their work, where they said, "What wouldn't you change about this family?" It would have been fascinating to hear that conversation after the family came back and said,
Who would you have at your dinner
"Wow,
table? Your
whoever
dinner
was
party?
there, Eve, Steve, Insu, whoever was there watching."
One person.
No, what do you mean one person? So it's just one person then?
Yeah.
Christ almighty. I don't know.
Gil can say what he wants because it's skill. Yeah,
okay.
because it's
Yeah,
skill.
yeah.
One person.
Julius Caesar. There you go.
Why Julius Caesar?
Why does it have to be Julius Caesar?
It doesn't. All right, Julius Caesar.
What
Why
was it
Julius
like?
Caesar?
What was it like to be emperor? What was it like?
Is anyone going to say anything to Joe? Am I always going to be the one that looks like the bad person?
Or if I had two, I would have De Niro and Pacino doing that conversation they had in Heat. Just sit there and watch that.
That would be very nice.
Oh yeah, why is that, Kidge?
Joe, in that movie, I think that there was never a time when they were in the scene together.
No, don't say that, Gil. Don't shatter my illusions.
I think they were saying their lines independent of each other.
No.
That's just my guess, but I've seen that movie a couple of times, and that just really struck me that during the whole movie, they were never in a scene together. There's always the camera on them. It's they were in a conversation and go back and forth to the one or the other.
Yeah. Because you don't see a pan shot of them both sitting at the table, do you?
Look at you, you know, pan shot.
So that would be to see them both together and do that scene.
If you could, Joe, all right, sorry. Me.
Sorry.
Okay, Aisha, what about you?
Yeah.
Well, I actually really thought about this while you guys were having your conversation. And although I love a lot of people, including Eve, Kidge, Ella, you know, I admire and love you all, I would want to invite Gil. And I will tell you why I would want to invite Gil. Don't look like that, Gil. I actually would, because I love just listening to the stories that Gil comes out with. And you could have a conversation about toilet roll, and somehow he will use that conversation to educate you.
That happens when you live long enough. That's fun.
Yeah, I would like for Gil to have a bottle of red wine or whatever you drink, Gil, and see the type of conversations we're having then. That would be funny.
Well, you know, I do plan on coming to visit as soon as it's,
I know.
you know, it's healthy enough to travel like that.
Well, if you come in February, then you can come to our do.
Oh yeah.
Our kids is coming.
Yeah.
Our 10-year and a 10-year family-based solutions party. Ella, if you're in London, yes.
That'd be great.
Which is going to be a lovely event.
You gonna live stream that?
I think Matt is going to live stream part of it. He doesn't know this yet, so yeah, I will tell him now that it's made it official. I'm hoping to. But guys, we were having, because we have random conversations in the office after hours whilst we're eating dinner, because we work very, very long hours, and we sit down like a family and we have dinner together most nights. And the random conversation that we were having last week, which was bugging all of us, is the people that we fancy in the celebrity world. Or if we could be any celebrity, who would we be? Joe said he likes the look of Elvis, the young Elvis, and that just didn't do anything for me at all. The boys said they fancied Cheryl Cole. That did nothing for me at all. I said Sophia Loren is gorgeous.
Yes.
Sophia Loren, natural beauty, a lady, beautiful. Who would you guys, if you could take, not the personality or the looks, I mean, we're all gorgeous, by the way, but if we could take a celebrity's physical attributes and make it our own for a day, who would you choose? I told you this would be random conversation.
For me, it'd be Paul Newman as a celebrity actor.
Paul Newman. Wait, I cannot remember who that is. Paul Newman.
Oh my
God. Yes.
You're showing your age.
Yeah, Paul Newman. Why Paul Newman?
Well, he's very good looking. Made a lot of interesting movies. Stayed married to the same woman throughout his life. And he was a humanitarian.
And a bit of a racing driver as well, Gil, isn't he?
Oh, that too. Yeah, he did that fairly seriously. Still is more of a hobby, but you know, he's developed before he died. I mean, he started Newman's own, you know, producing things like salad dressing and coffee, and all the proceeds of that go to charity. And his daughter has continued that to lead that.
Wow,
I never knew that about him.
He's very much a humanitarian across the board, and I liked his politics.
This is why I would invite Gil to the dinner party.
Yeah.
It's things like this, you see. Do you see what I'm saying? Ella, who would you choose?
Julia Roberts, of course.
Oh, why Julia Roberts?
Years ago, someone said I look like her. Yay!
Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah,
Many years ago. Well, I think she's a very good actress. I love Pretty Woman, but her I think that was her first movie. The real story about an advocate. a little bit a difficult name.
Erin Brockovich.
Yes. Well, that was one of her first major roles.
That was the one she won the Academy Award for.
See, he's doing it again.
Gil's Googling it all. Computer.
Well, and her with Richard Gere. Well, okay.
Oh, yeah. And what about you, Kidge?
I was thinking probably Helen Mirren.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
I like, well, so many.
Ella.
She's a feisty woman and she's independent. And I think she's, as I'm beginning to be of an age, she's aging very majestically and always elegant and wonderful. I think she's a great lady.
This is Helen Mirren, Ella.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and what roles did she play?
Yeah, fabulous.
She played the lead in The Queen, didn't she? She played the Queen.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
A few years ago.
Guys, I'm always have to almost.
Yes, we're going to be wrapping up now, Ella. And so what we actually just wanted to do was just to catch up with some SF friends and family with no specific purpose, but to just have a conversation, but just kind of do it live, just to show it's not always just about work. And getting to know each other on another level, which we have the privilege of doing with Gil sometimes, which is absolutely amazing. Through our, I call them date nights, Gil calls them movie nights. I think we're looking at the relationship a little bit differently here.
Can be tough.
You know, but hint, I'm inviting him to dinner. I'm getting him drunk. You know, Gil, love you.
Hey, your husband is a police officer. I respect you.
But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us. It's been absolutely incredible seeing you guys. And personally, from the Family Based Solutions team, we really want to thank you for your ongoing support for the charity and us as individuals. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are today. We might be a small charity, but we have an enormous community around us, and you are definitely part of that. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well done, you guys, because this year it's just been magical. The stuff you've done, really, truly, you deserve all the praise and accolades that you will have got and will continue to get, I'm sure.
Can I show one book I just got as a present for Sinterklaas? It's not Santa Claus, it's Sinterklaas. Do you know it? I love it. Sorry,
the rabbit
listened. No, I don't know that one.
This is wonderful. There's something happening with the boy, and all animals are helping him in all kind of ways, like an ostrich, putting his head in the ground. Just don't think about it. Another animal just roar, but he doesn't want to do that, and the rabbit just listens.
Oh wow!
Oh, brilliant.
So, hugs from you all.
Hugs for you.
I love you.
Have a wonderful Christmas.
Christmas. It's been fun being a part of this. So thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. So if you, apart from Ella who needs to go, if Kidge and Gil can just stay behind for 1 minute, and to the rest of you, we will see you in the new year. Please do start thinking about your best hopes for the new year and the differences those best hopes will make once you do reach them, because you can. You just got to think small steps lead to bigger outcomes. What are your first small steps? Start thinking about that. Do keep an eye on FBS chats and social media for those sort of questions coming your way. And from us, good evening.
Good evening.